This season on The Experience, it seems like both dual sport bikes and scooters are all the rage. And Yamaha's new TMAX is certainly helping to throw fuel on the fire. At the heart of this puppy is a wicked 530cc liquid-cooled, fuel-injected inline twin, mated to a fully automatic twist-and-go CVT transmission. This Max sports an impressive power-to-lightweight ratio, thanks in part to its aluminum frame and swing arm, mounted up with 15-inch cast, you guessed it, aluminum wheels. The spec sheet also gets maxed out thanks to the beefy 43mm fork and dual 267 discs that sport 4-piston monoblock calipers. Pretty impressive DNA on paper, but how does the TMAX ride out on the open road? Well, here's what longtime viewer Dave Fox had to say after a day in the saddle.
So Dave, I think it's been roughly about 10 years when the scooter thing really started to come on and we started to see bigger displacement scooters. When we start talking about this size of displacement, to me, they go beyond scooter. It's really a motorcycle.
You're right. And today when I was riding with another group of motorcycles, I had no problem keeping up with them with the acceleration this scooter has.
Right.
I guess this definition of scooter comes somewhere around the design, but if you, well, you can't close your eyes safely, but you can certainly accelerate and feel like you're riding with the big boys.
So what was your first impression when we pulled it out of the trailer?
Well, I thought it was really sharp, and again, sleek looking, I guess for lack of a better word, the classy style to it, something that you can ride in the city and feel as though you were not riding on something cheap looking and not really like a scooter.
Right. Now, you've commented a few times on how you were able to keep up with the big boys. How did you find the engine?
It was good. It was smooth, quiet. Riding and the overall comfort of it was great, not just the engine part of it, but the engine itself was very smooth.
Yeah. CVT transmission?
Yes.
So again, how did that work?
Belt drive, when you accelerate, it's there. There was no slippage at all. Like it accelerated off the line. In fact, I even stirred the gravel up a little bit off of the shoulder. So that part was good too.
So you've got the speed, now we want to know, do you got the stops?
When I first got on it in the driveway here today, I almost went over a tea kettle. That expression is, when you touch the brakes, there's lots of brake there, and if you look at the discs on the wheels, there's lots of brake power, lots of stopping power. In fact, I had to get used to it.
Right.
In fact, there was more than I expected.
Mm-hmm. What about just the way the bike works in terms of this parking brake? If we're talking about stopping, did you like this braking system?
A good design. Again, having ridden some other scooters that didn't have that design, if you're stopped somewhere and you have to be conscious of rolling ahead, you're just sitting on the bike, and a really neat design because you just flip the parking brake on. Then when it's time to move forward again, you don't forget.
Right.
Because when you put your hand on the grip, the bar is in your way.
Right.
So you have to flip it to get your hand comfortably back on the grip.
Yeah. Pretty nice idea. What about the cockpit and the instrumentation?
Large number configuration. The digital part is also easy to read. It's got a whole number of readouts, including your gas mileage. It has the temperature, air temperature, the time, 2 different tripometers. So lots of technology, again, in a scooter.
Now, scooters, a lot of them are used, as we know, in urban environments, and they're great for running around to work or to the grocery store, but you need somewhere to put those groceries, that briefcase. How's the storage?
Great. You just flick the key to the left and it pops, and then you end up having a trunk available to you. Mm-hmm. The trunk has room for the tools are back in this area, and then you've got all this for storage. A full-face helmet will fit in there with room to spare. And if you're at night trying to do your packing or unpacking, they even put in a trunk light.
That's
so
nice.
They thought of that as a nice touch when you're pulling in the driveway late at night.
Did you have a look at the little compartments up front?
Yes, and what I liked about it was the fact you can lock it and open it. Good spacing in there for sunglasses, cell phone, your wallet.
That's nice that it's lockable.
It is nice that it's lockable. And probably, and a lot of people wouldn't even notice that was there. Mm-hmm. When it's parked, they might notice the key and they might not.
Right. So Dave, let me ask you about the riding position, because clearly, you know, scooters usually are intended for commuting, running around downtown, urban environments. But, you know, today here we were shooting you out in the country. How did you find the overall comfort, the riding position, the wind protection? especially when you're up at speed.
Right. I'll comment on the windshield because we haven't before. There are two positions to it, and you can vary it by, I think, a little over 2 inches. The way it is right now is perfect for what I was doing today, and I didn't feel any wind buffeting at all, and I was going at highway speeds. I think if you were in a town and you had to stop a lot, it's not top heavy, even though I was a little tippy-toed standing with it. You don't feel like you're going to lose, it's going to flop over on you, so you can still put your feet down and feel confident that you've got control of it.
Yeah.
Seating position was great. The seat is in pretty good condition as far as softness. You can move back and forth on there. Again, like I mentioned with the foot position, you can also move your butt, so you can change your position quite often. Again, adding to the fact that if you wanted to go for a little longer ride, you shouldn't have any problem.
It's a nice, tidy package. Any surprises?
No, other than I commented on the brakes. The brakes were a little more powerful than I expected for a mid-sized bike.
Yeah.
But other than that, not really, no, because I've ridden some other scooters, but this one is right up there, I'd say, because of the smoothness, because of some of the extras it has on it, because of the sleek look to it. It's not a big surprise to me that this supposedly, I believe, is a #1 selling scooter in Europe, so they've done a lot of research to get to this point.
Right. Now you've tested almost all of our scooters so far over the last decade, including the big ones. 1 out of 10, what would you give this in terms of 10 being really good and 1 being not so good?
Being a retired teacher, I never gave 10s, so I give it a 9. Because there could be something better out there.
Always go for the gold. Nice work. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.